Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in.
What in the hell?
What is wrong with you?
No, you tell me. Is that a new camera?
It is a new camera. Oh.
I don't know how I feel about
4K pickle.
4K pickle.
Yeah. I should have put on more makeup this morning. I didn't realize 4K pickle was making a thing.
Deeply
but here we are.
This is deeply troubling to me.
Yeah, you can see every pore on my face.
This is deeply troubling. I've only known SD pickle.
Yeah.
720
back in the good old days.
720p pickle is the max. The P in 720p stands for pickle. What are we doing here? Trying to grow up? Jeez.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show.
I didn't even get to finish saying that.
Go ahead.
Howdy, howdy. Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show. It sounds better when I say it.
You done?
Are you done?
Welcome into the pre-show for the free show. I would like to know from you, Ashley Pickle, when is the last time that you listened to a sports event on the radio?
I tend to listen to Craig Way call Longhorn games.
You'll do the mutant sync?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get the app and play it through your phone and then like sync it up with the TV. That's the best way to do it, for sure.
I would say that there's been times where I'm driving and Ranger games are on, and I'll turn those on every now and then. But I can't tell you an exact sporting event.
Because Tuesday night I had to drive a not insubstantial distance, and I got the double dip because the Stars and the Rangers were playing. And so I got about 3 full hours, 2.5 hours, of toggling back and forth between FM radio stations to listen to both of those games.
That's sick.
And it was I got to be honest, I don't think all technological advances are progress. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There's something to be said about listening to sports on the radio.
Well, and it's because you call them different. I mean, like, you don't have the visual aid of being able to kind of step back and not have to describe everything. Like, you're not going to know what color the uniforms are unless they literally say them. You know? It's an art.
Yeah. It was like this was a couple of about a month and a half ago. I went to lunch with our friend Broke Miller and
I've heard of that chick.
William Wilkerson. And while we were there, sitting, like, we walked in 2 seats over was Eric Nadel.
Oh, that's cool.
The Hall of Fame voice of the Texas Rangers. Like, the voice of my childhood. And both of them, both Miller and Wilkerson, got to see me, like...
Fangirl?
Yeah, in, like, real time. And, like shrivel in real time. And they had to, like, I didn't want to go talk to him. Like, I didn't want to. I don't like being that guy. But I was like, I have to go and shake his hand. I was like, Mr. Nadell, like, nice to meet you. He was very nice and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like, I think I would like for sports on the radio to make a comeback. Like as far as like prominence is concerned.
Yeah.
'Cause I really enjoyed just like flipping between those. It was Eric Nadel and Matt Hicks on the Rangers, and then it was Josh Bogorod and Razor on the Stars. It was great. It was just like, I don't know. Maybe this is me. I want to be clear. It's entirely possible that there's just a lot more people listening to sports on the radio than I think there are. But my guess is that watching on television has significantly reduced the number of people who listen on the radio.
Yeah, absolutely. I would think that and this is fair because it happened to you. You were in the car. I would think that the time that 90% of listeners on the radio are definitely going to be when you're in a vehicle.
Certainly.
And you don't have a TV at your disposal.
But you know what? At the same time, part of me was thinking, I was like, man, if I was at home, it'd be kind of great to just go out in the garage. This is a real Mark Tepper code. Go out in the garage, turn on that old clock radio that's sitting on the workbench, Everyone can see that clock radio.
Oh, yeah.
You've never seen the clock radio, but you know exactly what clock radio I'm
100%.
talking about. And just sit there, maybe crack open a coldie, just listen to a baseball
Just
game.
let her rip.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes. It's a real guys being dudes thing. Anyway, I enjoyed it. That was a little treat for me. And now I'm going to go watch baseball in person tonight.
Oh, nice.
Our friend Matt Wilson reached out, and me and my wife are going.
Our friend Matt Wilson reached out, and I'm going to the PBR World Finals on Saturday, so hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, it's a real dudes rock weekend for
The dudes do be rocking.
for TFT. Hit the theme expo. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a program with a desk. My name's Greg Tepper. I am the editor-in-chief of Dave Campbell's Texas Football on TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good in stunning 1080p, 2160p. Every P you've got, she's got. She's Ashley Pickle.
You got to chill out.
Look at this definition.
Yeah.
It's even got like the snap zoom thing that they've got on the, which I think is that is one of the 3 or 4 greatest achievements in television recently, is the camera that like is like the Instagram filter basically, or like the Snapchat filter.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's sharp up front and then it's like,
it's got a rack focus on it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, the other camera that we had been using, y'all had that since I was in high school.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
There's a lot of stuff that's been here since you were in high school, including me.
Yeah. Well, you're, a bag of bones at this point.
I am a bag containing many bones. Today is Thursday, thank you. Sorry.
It's been a week.
It's been a week, y'all. What a year this week has been. It is Thursday, May 15th, 2025. Merely 196 days till Thanksgiving. Ashley Pickle, important question for you. Do you want to wish a Pro Football Hall of Famer a happy 50th birthday, or a Pro Football Hall of Famer a happy 56th birthday?
56.
Good call.
Who is it?
Emmitt Smith.
Oh, nice.
50 is Ray Lewis.
Okay.
So, like, they're both very good at football.
Football, yeah.
But, like, I know you would have been really mad if...
Yeah, if I got Ray Lewis over, no, I want a refund.
It is episode 1860. On today's show, folks, it is Thursday, so as a result, we will be celebrating Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
By talking about the best, maybe most explosive Texas high school football quarterbacks coming back in 2025. I've crunched the numbers, and we'll divvy this thing up a few different ways. We'll talk about that. Then back out the show, Matt Stepp was out in Kilgore this past weekend, caught up with the head coach of the Jefferson Bulldogs, Coach Ty Taylor. If you want to see a shirt that I'm going to bully Ty Taylor into letting me have, stay tuned to the back of the show, because this shirt is awesome. Anyway, come up here, back half the program. Do we have first 4 through the door?
We sure do. It was Lyle Good, Tanner Solis, jersey number 69,
nice.
And Patrick.
Star? Who's to say?
I guess we'll never know.
Welcome in, friends. We do appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us. It is Thursday, and around these parts, that means one thing. It's Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
It's Math Tuesday here on Texas Football Today, where we dig into the numbers of Texas high school football and bring you some fun facts that you can share at the water cooler. That's what people do, right?
No.
Today we're going to talk about quarterbacks. We're going to talk about signal callers. And so I'm laying out right now, me and the team are laying out the 2025 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And one thing I think is rather remarkable about this particular season upcoming, and this will probably be, I could probably declare it right now, it's going to be the season of the quarterback. Okay? When I look across the Texas high school football landscape, there are so many good quarterbacks coming back off of really exceptional underclassmen years. It's pretty remarkable. It happens every once in a while, but like this year, 2025, there are a ton of great quarterbacks coming back, like a glut of them. And some of them are like big-time prospects, right? Keyshawn Henderson, Bo Bentley, right? Reese Wise. There's big-time prospects. There's also just like quarterbacks that maybe aren't considered like 3, 4, 5-star prospects, but are just really good high school football players.
And we consider those dudes who rock.
Those are our stars too. We need a different, like recruiting can have stars. We need to have like our own measurement.
Yeah, we need a Powers can handle stars, but we need something. Well, we're gonna workshop this.
Yeah, we'll come up with something. It's a great year for quarterbacks in Texas high
Boulders.
school football.
Like rocks. Get it? Boulders or rocks.
Are you proud of yourself?
I am very proud of myself.
What are you doing right now?
Just hanging around.
Anyway, I want to take a look at the most productive Texas high school football quarterbacks coming back in 2025. And we broke down the stats a variety of different ways. We'll start kind of big macro, and we'll get real granular and analytical and nerdy on this little journey here on a Math Tuesday, okay? So we'll start with the basics of it. These are the top returning passers in 2024 or 2025, which is the guys who threw for the most yards in 2024. I probably don't have to explain what this means to you. You're an adult. South Lake Carroll quarterback Angelo Renda is the state's leading returning passer. Threw for over 3,900 yards. Now, 2 yards behind him, Buck Randall, quarterback at Highland Park. Landon York at Wall, coming back. Kason Brooks from Kilgore. Prosper Walnut Grove's Hayes Hackney, who did that as a freshman. Mm-hmm. Threw for 3,671 yards. Wyatt Gavitt, not far behind him at Jacksboro. Cole Collins had a terrific year at Fairfield. We talked about Reed Macon at Canyon West Plains, what a star he was last year. Jackson Jenkins at Collinsville has picked up the torch of that high-flying attack for the Pirates. And then Trevor Golightly, it's a great name, who was a spectacular sophomore quarterback for Edgewood last year. Threw for 3,480 yards. I don't have to explain to you how like this means these guys are good, right? They threw for a bunch of yards. Like this is pretty clear. This is kind of the baseline of it. But what I wanted to do, and look, I don't want to take anything away from these guys. These guys were all fantastic. South Lake Carroll played for a title, so played 16 games. Highland Park played for a title, played 16 games. Landon York at Wall, state semifinals, 15 games. Kilgore, 16 games, right? Canyon West Plains, 16 games. Or 15 games, rather. A lot of these guys put up big numbers. They also had extra games, right? They also had extra games to gather up these numbers. And so the next way I wanted to break this down was based on their completion percentage. Who were the sharpest quarterbacks? This is something that, like, if you throw, I mean, obviously, by the way, this is a minimum of 1,000-yard passers. You have to have thrown at least for 1,000 yards last year.
Makes sense.
These are the guys who are the sharpest quarterbacks as far as completion percentage. Marcus Flowers at Princeton.
That would not have been on my radar.
This one surprised me. 80% completion, almost 81% completion. Okay? Marcus Flowers is the sharpest quarterback in Texas high school football coming back. And, by the way, I believe he was the state's leader in completion percentage, whether they're coming back or not, based on their completion percentage. The only guy who came close to him was the guy right behind him, Hudson Humble, at Parker Heights.
That's the cheeseburger effect.
There you go. 70, almost 80% there. Kavian Bryant, the superstar for Palestine, that's actually Palestine Westwood. They're at 74.7%. Jack Dalton from the Woodlands, over 73%. Cole Taylor from Pflugerville. Tristan Beal from Abilene. Jackson Shad, who did it
as a freshman.
just absolutely spectacular for Weiss. Angelo Renda on there as well, Reed Macon. And then Elvis Estrada out there at San Antonio Johnson. So those are guys who are the sharpest quarterbacks as far as their completion percentage is concerned. But what about yards per attempt? So take the number of yards they threw for, how many times you threw it. So this is kind of a measurement not only of how many, like not just how much you are completing the ball, completion percentage, but also how far downfield you're going, or maybe how much you're getting help from your receivers, right? Yards per attempt, because you got to complete it for the attempt to matter. Otherwise, to zero. Tamaje McMillan at Wilmer Hutchins, 14.6 yards per attempt. 14.6 yards per attempt. You might call this large bills only, okay? Kavian Bryant at Palestine Westwood, also 14 per 6. DeJuan Johnson, we're going to get to him, at New Diana, 14.4. Marcus Flowers, not just being sharp, but also being pushing it down the field, 13.6 yards per attempt. Heston Job at De Leon. Chris Brown from Houston Yates. You see Kason Carney at Munster, who led them to a state championship.
I was going to say, that's impressive just because of the amount of games that he played the full amount of games that you can play.
And you consider what a dynamic running threat he is, too.
Mm-hmm.
Prather Schneeman at Ira Ann. Hell yeah. 13.2.
That's not real.
That is real. He is real. He's real good.
He's real.
Tristan Beal at Abilene, and then Chase Lantelme, who I'll talk about a little bit more. He's an interesting story as well. But as far as yards per attempt, these are the returning leaders in yards per attempt. The guys who are pushing the ball down the field and completing it at a high percentage, obviously, as well. So the next one that I want to talk about, I want to break it down even further. Let's talk about touchdown rate, okay? This is, plain and simple, the percentage of your passes that go for touchdowns, right? Plain and simple. DeJuan Johnson at New Diana.
This guy's nails.
Almost 21% of his passes went for touchdowns.
That's insane.
The numbers on DeJuan Johnson at New Diana are kind of silly, okay? This is a guy who completed 107 of 154 passes, threw for 32 touchdowns. 32. Large bills only for DeJuan Johnson. And by the way, a running threat too. Kavian Bryant at 18.2. Bo Bentley, of course, needs no introduction at this point. Chase Lantelme is interesting too. Remember, Chase Lantelme was not the full-time starting quarterback for Stratford. They had Bryce Braden. So now Bryce Braden, they were moving him all around. He got plenty of looks. He threw the ball 102 times, ended up throwing for 1,319 yards. And when he threw, on 18 of his 102 pass attempts, they ended in the end zone. Pretty good. Jace Wheeler at Canyon Lake. You see Tristan Beal showing up here a lot. Rodrigo Martinez at El Paso Isleta. Miles Tedeki, guy who led Vandergrift to a state championship. 16.5% of his passes ended up going for 6. Chris Brown at Houston Yates, and then Gavin Beard, first time we've mentioned him, the outstanding quarterback at Aledo. All these guys, by the way, remember, are coming back. We're talking about returning quarterbacks. We're not talking about guys who are off to the next level. These are guys that you will see in Texas high school football in 2025. So there's one more thing I wanted to do, and this is a little, you got to follow me on this. It's a little art and a little science. But I wanted to come up with a way of measuring explosiveness, okay? Because essentially what I wanted to take is you saw the yards per attempt, right? The yards per attempt, that's pretty good. Large bills only, right? If you're throwing for 20 yards an attempt, you are pushing the ball down the field or your receivers are doing help. And also, you have your touchdown rate. The name of the game is getting the ball in the end zone. And so I wanted to take those two combined. And so what we did is we're taking the yards per attempt and multiplying it by the touchdown rate. And this is what we're calling our explosiveness index, okay? These are the most explosive passers in Texas high school football, that when they throw the ball, big things happen. And again, there's DeJuan Johnson lapping the field here. Silly numbers here. Silly numbers. Again, to reiterate, this is a guy who threw the ball 154 times. Every time he threw the ball, it went for 14 and a half yards on average, and it ended in the end zone almost 21% of the time. Kavian Bryant at Palestine Westwood. Chase Lance told me, this is a guy I'm really fascinated by because in these short bursts, he was exceptionally productive. But can he continue that now as the true starting quarterback there at Stratford? Bo Bentley at Salina. No surprise there. A guy who's pushing the ball down the field. There's Tristan Beal again. I'm telling you, this kid at Abilene's got something. Mm-hmm. Really, really sharp. 89 of 123 for 21 touchdowns, nearly 1,700 yards. Chris Brown at Houston Yates. There's Prather Schneeman again at Ira Ann. Rodrigo Martinez, rounding it out with Gavin Beard and Kason Carney. And by the way, you look up and down this list, you have guys who are exceptional runners as well. DeJuan Johnson's a runner. Kavian Bryant can run. Bo Bentley can run. Right? Kason Carney, we know he can run. He ran for a game-winning touchdown in the state championship.
Kason Carney, I would argue, ran more than he threw.
You could say, make an argument he's a better runner than a thrower. These are explosive passers. And when I tell you that there are a ton of really, really good quarterbacks coming back this year, that's what I mean. All told, let me see if I can do this really quick because I started a sentence, didn't know if I could finish it.
Math Tuesday, but make it live.
As far as quarterbacks at the UIL 11-man ranks that threw for at least 1,000 yards, okay? Threw for at least 1,000 yards. We have 311 coming back.
Wow.
In UIL 11-man. Basically, a quarter of the team. No, more than a quarter. More than 30% of the UIL Texas high school football teams will have a quarterback who threw for at least 1,000 yards last year. That's exciting. And it should have you excited for the 2025 Texas high school football season. And that's Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
We are at Texas Football Today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com. Talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbells. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. So it's May. It was 170,000 degrees yesterday.
It has been hot.
And the reason I bring that up is because when it starts getting hot outside, that means the 2025 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football we're preheating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've got the oven on preheat.
The oven is on preheat. Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Get the 2025 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football mailed to you directly to your mailbox. You don't have to run around looking for it. TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Makes a great gift. And
yeah, the oven is at full blast for Dave Campbell's Texan Live right now.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's the air fryer that is Texan Live, our streaming platform, where you can watch hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of live high school events year-round, including
playoff baseball and softball, baby.
Like tonight? Maybe.
Yes, definitely
tonight.
Yeah.
You can watch that tonight. Plus, when football season rolls around, hundreds of live Texas high school football events, high school football games, including hundreds of live Texas high school football playoff games, live on your device. Is TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Makes a great gift. Get it for Emmitt Smith's birthday.
Correct. Happy 56th.
Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Coming up here in just a moment, the head coach of the Jefferson Bulldogs, Ty Taylor, caught up with our own Matt Stepp at the Kilgore State Qualifying Tournament for State 7-on-7. But first, a word from these valued partners.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days. with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wings drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
Joined out here by Hayden Gunner at Denton High School. Man, it's a big day for you. You got your decision coming right now.
After a lot of thinking, with the family talking, stressing out.
Let's see exactly where Malik Hawkins is going to be heading.
First off, I want to start by thanking God. Without him, I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't be blessed with all these opportunities.
He's got 5 schools he's choosing between. We're about to find out who it's going to be. Got your teammates, coaches, family, friends surrounding you, so you couldn't have a bigger stage right here to announce it on. So without further ado, we're going to go to the man right here, Kobe Foreman. Who's it going to be?
I will be attending.
I'll be committed to the University of Oklahoma.
University of Texas A&M.
Stanford University.
The University of Oklahoma.
Every legend starts with a vision. For Dave Campbell, that vision was clear. Tell the story of Texas football like never before. In 1960, he built something no one had before, a magazine that became the Bible of Texas football. Coaches, players, and fans didn't just read it, they lived by it. His words shaped the game. His vision built a legacy. And his name? It will always be written in the story of Texas football. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, where legends begin.
Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, back here at the Kilgore 7-on-7 state qualifying tournament. Here at the head coach of the Bayou Bullies from Jefferson, Texas, Coach Ty Taylor. Coach, appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
First game against Lindale, a really good game. Couple of good teams going at it. You guys lost a close one. First game of 7-on-7 of the year. Yeah. Probably some positives and some negatives to take from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got an 8th grader and a freshman starting at corner over there, and then sophomores all over the field. And so, it's just one of those things today. What our message is this is a culture check for us today, and to kind of see where we're at and see areas where we need to grow and identify those things. And so that's really what we want to take away from today.
Yeah, and we all know 7-on-7 is not real football. The linemen aren't out here, but I know there's a lot of things you can take away.
Yeah,
with you playing so many young, very talented but young guys. These are the kind of growing opportunities that you want to see. And you've been around. I mean, you're not old like me, but you've been around for a little while, so you're going to go through those growing pains when you're playing, babies. You got a kid who hasn't even started high school out there playing.
Right.
So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
How do you kind of handle those growing pains while coaching them up and addressing the things they need to work on, but also keeping their heads up and not letting them get down on themselves?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just look for the positives and really just hold them to a standard and have the standard set and make sure the old guys are doing a great job of, showing those guys the way and making sure that they're adhering to our standard of how we play and the speed in which we play and our body language. No matter what happens on a series, our body language shouldn't change. So it's all those types of things that just take some time but we'll get there.
And last year, your first year there as a head coach, you guys go 12-1, have a heck of a year. You push Malakoff in that third round game, a really good Malakoff team that had been on a long winning streak and played in a state championship game last year, won a state championship the year before. So you guys, I think year one was probably a big success. From your perspective, now that you've been doing this for a year, if you were to tell yourself a year ago, was there anything that did you kind of know what you were getting into, or did you learn a lot of new things about being a head coach AD?
Yeah, absolutely. Learned a ton of new stuff. I liken it to, when you have a kid for the first time, you can read all the books and do all the classes and everything, but nothing prepares you to take that baby home from the hospital. And so that's kind of how it was for me. Coach Gibson's here and learned a ton from him and watching him and growing underneath him, but there's nothing like just doing it yourself and having to kind of figure some things out. So yeah, it was a big it was a big growing year for me, and a lot of things that I had to learn. But yeah, really proud of our kids and our assistant coaches and the way they handled this year to make it such a success.
It's one of those things when you're a young coach, you probably hear the boss man always say, "Oh, you won't never know until you're sitting in the big chair." And now that you're in the big chair, you're like, "Oh man, that old guy was right, wasn't he?"
Exactly. Yep, for sure.
And the community, I know that the city of Jefferson, the community was super excited about you guys. How just humbled and proud of you that the community supports you guys and got behind you guys so much last year.
I mean, that's one of the things that makes Jefferson such a special place is our community and the people there. They're awesome.
It's a cool town too.
Yeah, it really is, and big time supporters of what we're doing, and they're just I can't say enough about them. I mean, they show up and support us, all of our athletic programs, and just do a great job of supporting our kids and being there for them. So I'm really proud to be a part of that community.
And we got the tent back there. It says Bayou Bullies on it. Tell us about the Bayou Bullies mentality.
So when we got here last year, we're kind of like, man, we need something like that's just ours. There's a lot of teams, especially in East Texas, that are Bulldogs. There's a lot of teams that are maroon and white. And so we wanted to find something that we could identify with as being just us. And so what I tell people is, we got the Big Cypress Bayou running right through the middle of town. A lot of people don't know that. That's a big part of our community. And so, there's a lot of Bulldogs and there's a lot of maroon and white teams, but there's only one Bayou Bullies, and that's in Marion County, Texas.
There you go.
It's just something to kind of give us an identity and be able to set our
kids kind of latched on to it.
Yeah, they latched onto it. Our community's latched onto it. My son's Little League basketball team was the Bayou Bullies. My other son's T-ball team is and I didn't. That was on them, and so anyway, it's been cool to see that.
I need a Bayou Bullies T-shirt, Coach. I need one.
I got you.
Now, looking ahead to 2025, you mentioned there's going to be some youth this year, and you were 12-1, so people are going to be gunning for you.
Yeah.
What are some areas of your ball club that you're feeling good about? You got some experience coming back, and maybe some areas where, hey, I need to see some of you young guys take that step this summer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, our linebacker core is going to be super talented. We're led by the district defensive MVP. Coben Tomlinson, he's just going to be a junior, and then Dale Brown is going to be a senior, one of our few seniors, and they're both super talented. We're all district players last year, so that position is going to be one that's really good for us. And then, of course, we lose Cam Williams at running back. He's at UNLV, but we have a really good group of kids that's going to be in that position. So we kind of are looking at those to be our strengths. Of course, up front, O-line and D-line is always a concern, especially at our level, because depth can be an issue. So
I've never heard a coach tell me he had too many offensive or defensive linemen.
That's right. So that's always a concern, but we do feel good about the kids we have in those spots.
All right. Final question for you, Coach. You've been in town for a year now. So now if Tepper, myself, Pickle, Mallory, Powers, we come to a game in Jefferson, where are you sending us for pregame meal?
Oh, there's one answer. It's Riverport Barbecue.
Okay, Riverport Barbecue. I think Tepper's been there before.
Yeah,
already.
It's awesome. It's unbelievable. They're really good to us, and got everything there is good. But they're known for the swamp fries. That's fries with brisket and barbecue sauce and jalapenos and cheese and
all good stuff.
So you're going to need to take a good nap after that. But they're really
yeah. What is the swamp fries your go? What's the Coach Taylor go-to order?
So my go-to, because typically I have to go back to work and function. So I can't just can't go too hard. But is I like getting the ribs.
Okay.
Ribs, and they have really good fried okra. And so, that's my go-to.
All right. There he is, Ty Taylor, the head coach of the Jefferson Bulldogs. Coach, and good luck to your team the rest of the day.
Yeah,
appreciate what you do for student athletes in the state of Texas.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
There he is, Ty Taylor, head coach of the Jefferson Bulldogs. Going to need that J-Town shirt.
Yeah, that's a sick shirt. The hat was sick, too.
The hat was sick.
He's
got
up a
the whole
Bulldog
vibe.
Yeah.
Remember, he's a Pleasant Grove guy. He was on the Josh Gibson staff, and they've always got sweet gear, too. So, it's an East
Aren't they
Texas
Jordan?
I think they're a Jordan school.
Because I know Chapel Hill's Jordan too.
Yeah. Between that, there's a big thing for me with Jefferson right now because I was looking through photos and we had photos from El Paso Jefferson. Mm-hmm. And their whole thing is Viva La Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
I need a Viva La Jeff shirt.
I have covered a El Paso Jefferson game in El Paso. That's a flex.
That is a flex. That's legit. That's not a flex many places, but in this room and to this audience, that is a legitimate flex. Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate Ty Taylor popping out with Matt Stepp a little bit earlier. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle from America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts. What it do? No, we have a question. Will Bo Bentley have his same receivers and O-line, etc. around him this year? What did they graduate? Yeah. Excellent question. I can actually pull up their questionnaire. I have slept since then, since I read their preview.
They have Bo Bentley, so
they
like
have
that's
Bo Bentley. Good start.
Yeah.
Good start. They are losing Ethan Rucker. That's gonna hurt them, but they bring back their big tight end Wyatt Villarreal, who's a big star for them. They're really excited about a couple of other guys they've got coming back, but it looks like the main guy that's going to be doing that is Wyatt Villarreal, their tight end. They will need to develop some receivers on the outside. That'll be key, but I think that they will probably find some guys to catch Bo Bentley's passes. That'll be my guess. But, certainly you're right. I think that's a point well taken of these guys who had fantastic 2024 seasons who are coming back in 2025. Offensive line may be different, right? The receiver core may be different. The play calling scheme may be different. So it'll be interesting. And certainly Bo Bentley will need to find some weapons on the outside besides his outstanding tight end to make that thing go. But somehow I think they'll survive. Somehow I think they'll be okay. Anything else?
No, watch playoff softball and baseball on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Do what the lady says. She's in 4K. She can come get you.
Okay.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Ty Taylor, head coach of those Jefferson Bulldogs Bayou Bullies, for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please can get your Player of the Year trophies over this shoulder right there. We'll see you Monday on Texas Football Today.